Yama Malia. My name is Natalie Lewis. I'm a commissioner with the Queensland Family and Child Commission. I'm a Gamilaroi Yinna, and so I am a guest on this country, and I want to thank you for the blessing, and I want to pay my respects to your elders, especially your mum. Can you pass my love on to her, please? But also, I think it's really important for us that just in acknowledging country, it's really important that the best way for us to show respect is to make sure that our words and intentions honour the legacy of all of our ancestors and the aspirations of our future generations. So this is all about moving participation beyond the performative. Too often we see the exclusion of young people in the discourse and in the debate and in the design of policy and programs. Young people that are often viewed through a prism of vulnerability and risk rather than the clarity of their capability, their insight and their perspective. Perspectives that are shaped by lived experience, what they see, what they hear and what they feel right now, from a vantage point that is unobstructed by agendas and organisational interests. Theirs is a truth that emerges from a sense of injustice, a need that has gone unmet, seeing a problem that should and can be fixed, and with an ability to see a way through a problem with an intolerance for excuses and a refusal to accept that anything is too hard. And that is demonstrated so clearly by our speakers this morning. Ruby, I can tell you your movement is well and truly moving. I've been in a number of spaces, for example, the Queensland Police Service, I sit on their expert advisory group for domestic and family violence, and there are constant references to your work. And so that goal that you had about the visibility of children and young people as victims in their own right has well and truly caught fire. And I think the fact that you had not just the idea, but the bravery and the conviction to see through the development of a website that provides the resources for children who had been rendered invisible. It is powerful, it is making a massive difference. So thank you so much. Jess, thank you for helping policymakers to find the blind spots in their legislation and in their policy. Having those opportunities to be brutally honest and to save us from that frustrating process we go through of, 5 years later, oops, unintended consequence, right? That value that you contribute in that space is immeasurable. So thank you. I know, Leo, you talked about planning outdoor spaces, and the thing that resonated the most with me is that message about someone taking you seriously. And that's the point of difference between when we set up things like advisory councils or advisory groups, transitioning them from that tokenism to meaningful participation is about being taken seriously. So thank you for that reminder. Let me see. Gio, Darcy, Jared, I got a cramp in my hand from trying to write notes, of everything that you were saying, because it was just incredible. But really what struck me is that you all kept coming back to this thing that is common in our humanity that we so often overlook, and that is the importance of belonging and connection. And that as a foundation allows opportunities to grow. Allows you to move beyond definitions of who you are that are constrained by an experience or a range of abilities or disabilities. It's empowering, and it is quintessential to success in any program. Now, let me see, Mo. Can I just say, my son is doing something wrong, because I think at the moment there's about 7 15-year-old boys at my house. I'm quite sure he's not charging a cover charge. I wish he was, because maybe that'd, cover his KFC bills every week. And I certainly, though, wouldn't advocate for him to start cutting hair. He had a crack at clipping our Labrador, and I don't think she's ever recovered. So. But I think that the point that you raised about these outdated notions of what success is, allowing young people to redefine that and reimagine that is incredibly powerful. When you talk about, that creating opportunities to inspire belief and to imagine opportunity. That is our most valuable currency if we want young people to thrive into the future. And so I thank you for what you're doing. I'm inspired by what you do, and I hope that you get a lot of phone calls about spaces to put those vending machines today. One of the common threads that each of the speakers is that they're unencumbered by the complexity or the enormity of an issue. They're not distracted by worrying about what's palatable, what's popular, or what are the politics or the optics of an issue. They just see what's possible and they go for it. A young brother I know, Isaiah Dow, some of you might know him, he speaks often about this concept of radical optimism. And that radical optimism is abundant in this room, but too often absent in many of the spaces that I find myself, where the discussions happen, where the debates happen, where the decisions are made. Decisions that impact upon young people in profound ways. Decisions that influence their futures and that can disrupt and change the sphere of possibilities available to them. It can cause them to doubt and even fear the world that's being created for them when they are not part of that creation story. I often witness and worry that optimism is being suffocated or displaced by a mastery of cultivating excuses for inaction. Complexity, resource complaints, political climate, community sentiment, not the time, are all pretty common excuses that we hear not to progress what are common sense things to do. This problematic mindset can be disrupted through the intentional and meaningful participation of young people, as we have witnessed here this morning. So these young thought leaders, change and sense makers, truth speakers, have commanded your attention and your applause, but importantly, they demand our action. There are so many people in this room that hold personal and positional power. Collectively, the spheres of influence that are your orbit make anything possible. I know that many of you, I now know many of you and what you're capable of and why you're here. I know that you're here for more than a performance and a social media pic. The words and intention of these incredible young people are destined to reverberate far beyond this room and this moment. So I encourage you, in the spaces that you occupy, in the organisations that you lead, in the discussions that you lead and the decisions that you make space for the meaningful participation of young people. Insist upon it, because participatory policy creates good policy. Programs designed by the people who are using them create good programs. Practice that is shaped by people that are most impacted is far more impactful. It doesn't just feel good for a moment, it creates good for the future. So thank you.